Coming up on WFT's First at 5, an unprecedented winter storm continues to sweep across the southeastern U.S., snow falling in Florida's most northern parts.
And a popular bus route has been canceled, what this means for the city and bus goers.
Plus, the annual medieval fair will look a little different this year. Find out what will be new this weekend. First at 5 starts right now.
First at 5, from the University of Florida's College of Journalism and Communications. You're watching WUFT News.
Snowfall across parts of the southern U.S. has led to some snow days for North Florida communities. And here in North Central Florida, several schools had the day off yesterday due to wintry conditions. Freezing temperatures are expected again tonight, with wind chills possibly as low as the teens. Gainesville temperature did not climb out of the 30s yesterday. Today was sunnier than yesterday. I'm Nick Diaz.
And I'm Alex Land. Thanks for joining us. WUFT forecaster Ben Ganzarz-Davies joins us now. He says with fewer clouds tonight, it'll be even colder. Ben?
Yes, we currently have a lot of cloud coverage, but it's making its way out of our area this evening. So that 50 degrees temperature you see currently is going to be taking a dip. And we do have some wind coming out from the north and northwest of our region, bringing with it that cold temperature that you were seeing where the snow was just a couple days ago. Current temperatures here in Gainesville about 51 degrees, but to our north and to the west, it is colder. And as that wind brings that air, we're going to be seeing that temperature dip tonight, even seeing some freeze warnings for most of our area this evening from 7 p.m. to 10 a.m. And just outside of this, you see Dixie County, Lafayette County, they're still going to be seeing near freezing temperatures. It's just not quite hitting that 32-degree mark necessary. But bring your plants inside, make sure your pets are inside to keep them safe. The highest snowfall of this week was in Milton, Florida, hitting just about 10 inches. Now, any amount of snow here in Florida is newsworthy, but 10 inches is history worth. Coming up, I'll let you know when that warm-up is going to come and just time out how that snow panned out earlier this week.
The battle for control of Gainesville Regional Utilities is far from over. At a status conference this morning, GRU Authority Board representatives scheduled a trial in the Authority Board lawsuit against the city of Gainesville. City officials moved for summary judgment 2 weeks ago, meaning they did not dispute the facts of the case. In December, GRU directors voted to reduce their annual transfer to the city by $1.5 million. The board argues the city should pay for the legal fees associated with the case and street-like costs that were previously controlled by GRU. The next trial date is set for April 2nd.
Ocala police officers are asking for your help identifying 3 women who stole more than $1,000 of merchandise from a sporting goods store. On Sunday, the women entered a Dick's Sporting Goods on College Road and began taking items. One suspect attacked a 71-year-old employee who was attempting to stop the theft. Police say the 3 suspects left in a white sedan, possibly a Hyundai Sonata, and were last seen traveling northbound on I-75. If you have any information, call Detective Quintero or submit an anonymous tip to Crime Stoppers of Marion County. You can earn up to $3,000 in cash if your tip leads to an arrest.
Alachua County's Teacher of the Year will be awarded tonight. Finalists included teachers from Glen Springs Elementary, Fort Clark Middle, and the Sidney Lanier Center. The top 3 this year are 2nd grade teacher Vanessa Lind, 7th grade teacher Natalie Watkins, and special education teacher Monica Benson. The 3 have a combined 43 years of experience in the classroom. Whoever wins will represent the ACPS in the state's recognition program.
The School Board of Alachua County and the Teachers Union are going back to the drawing board for salary negotiations. Alachua County teachers rejected a proposed salary increase. The proposal would have given teachers a 1.6% increase. The raise would have been retroactive to the start of the school year. Teachers filled the Alachua County School Board meeting to air their grievances with the proposal. Elementary school teacher Danielle Engelhorn says she was insulted by the size of the proposed raise.
We do not continue to sacrifice the needs of our own children, our own family, our own health for a board who does not care about us.
Education support professionals like bus drivers and teacher aides approved their 1.6% salary increase. The school board confirmed the agreement at Tuesday's meeting.
Gainesville is set to host a blast from the past this weekend. The Hogtown Medieval Fair is coming into town on Saturday. WFT's Jack Meyer is live at Depot Park. Jack, you got a sneak peek at what people can expect from this year's event.
If you're walking by Depot Park this weekend, you might see some unconventional garb and decor reminiscent of the olden days. This weekend, the city of Gainesville is going back in time to the Middle Ages as it prepares to play host to the 2025 Hogtown Medieval Fair. The event will be free for guests of all ages and will feature all kinds of distinct old-timey entertainment. Organizers tell me that fairgoers will be able to take part in numerous activities and experiences across 6 different stages. Some of these events include, but are not limited to, knighting ceremonies, jousts, sword combat, and a medieval marketplace featuring jewelry, art, and fortune telling.
So visitors can expect to see 90 merchants selling goods of all kinds, handmade. Visitors can also expect to see a whole variety of performers across 7 different stages. And we also have a maypole. You can meet the king and queen. You can also meet mermaids, and we have a bunch of roaming performers as well.
This marks just the 2nd time in the fair's 38-year history that Depot Park will be used as the hosting venue. The event was previously held at the Alachua County Fairgrounds, which have since been transferred to new ownership and left the fair looking for a new site to call home. While the Hogtown Medieval Fair normally lasts 3 weekends, organizers opted to abbreviate the festivities into 2 days due to Depot Park's limited availability. Event organizers have made it clear that whether there's rain or shine this weekend, the event will be going on as scheduled. Thankfully, the forecast calls for nothing but clear skies and sunny days ahead. Reporting live from Depot Park, Jack Meyer, WUFT News.
Coming up, a controversial bill revoking birthright citizenship is facing backlash. Plus,
State employees could get more time off if they're a new parent. Stay with us for more when First at 5 returns.
You're watching WUFT-TV News.
birthright citizenship is front and center after the Trump administration signed an executive order that would end it. This would revoke citizenship from those born to illegal immigrants who were born on U.S. soil. CNN reporter Lee Waldman explains the order has already received backlash and started a legal battle.
This next order relates to the definition of birthright citizenship under the 14th Amendment of the United States.
A court battle is brewing over President Donald Trump's executive order declaring an end to birthright citizenship. But the CEO of the National Constitution Center says the 14th Amendment is clear.
Ever since the amendment was passed in the 19th century, that's been interpreted to mean that if you're born in the United States, you're automatically a citizen, whether or not your parents are here legally.
The 14th Amendment resulted from overturning the 1857 Dred Scott decision, which denied citizenship to Black people and upheld slavery in U.S. territories. The executive order keys in on one phrase in the amendment, subject to the jurisdiction thereof.
They're suggesting that if you're here illegally or your parents are here illegally, they have allegiance to a foreign power, in other words, another government, and therefore that you're not a citizen.
Rosen says trying to end birthright citizenship isn't a simple task.
Basically, the Supreme Court would have to change its mind and reject an interpretation of birthright citizenship that goes back more than 100 years.
The executive order aims to end birthright citizenship for children born after it was signed, but Hiroshi Motomura, immigration scholar at UCLA, says he worries about the thousands of people born before.
That creates a precariousness that I think has a real potential to undermine societal cohesion for many people in this country.
In New York, I'm Lee Waldman.
New parents who are state employees may have more paid parental leave after a new legislation. The legislation filed at the state capitol would create 12 weeks of paid time off. Currently, state workers receive 9 weeks for new mothers and 2 for new fathers. There's no requirement for private employers in Florida to provide employees with any time off. Senate bill sponsor Lori Berman hopes the state can lead by example on the issue.
We want people to be having children, but we want to make it so that they're able to enjoy the time after they have children. And certainly there's so much that's going on in those first 3 months of life and the development of the child.
The legislation is not yet scheduled for a committee hearing ahead of the 2025 legislative session starting on March 4th.
Deputies with the Alachua County Sheriff's Office are warning you of a new scam going around. Deputies say neighbors have been receiving texts from SunPass asking to pay tolls through text. ACSO says do not click the link. These messages are fake. If you believe you have unpaid toll fees, they say to contact SunPass directly. If your commute tomorrow morning takes you on East University Avenue and you see smoke, don't worry. The city is supervising a prescribed burn by the Florida Forest Service. It is scheduled to start at 10 a.m. tomorrow and end at 5 p.m. These burns are done in an effort to reduce wildfire risk before the season.
And what this winter storm means for your weekend, a freeze warning and a potential warm-up coming up.
You're watching WUFT-TV News.
Although the snow from earlier this week may be dwindling, we are still seeing freezing temperatures in much of North Florida. Highlighted are the areas this evening seeing a freeze warning from 7 p.m. until 10 a.m. That means temperatures are going to be below 32 degrees, so make sure to bring your pets and plants inside. If your county is not highlighted, you're still going to be seeing temperatures near freezing, just a degree or two warmer, so you still want to take necessary precautions to make sure your pets and plants stay safe. This evening, temperatures are going to be declining from those mid-40s down to the lower 30s, but wind chill is going to be making them feel even colder. Looking at here in Gainesville, we're going to be feeling just about 25 degrees in 4 a.m., and this wind chill from the north and northwest is going to continue to impact us throughout the day on Friday, making it feel cooler than what the temperature may suggest. Now, tomorrow evening, we're also going to be seeing a freeze warning for much of our area as temperatures approach that 32-degree mark. So stay vigilant and stay updated on the latest temperatures for your area. Now, earlier this week, we saw snow here in Florida, always a newsworthy event, but even more newsworthy is the amount of snow we saw. 8.9 inches over in Crestview. Now, for Florida Panhandle, they usually don't see snow ever. So people went outside and were quite excited. But what's even more exciting is we saw some flurries here in Alachua. Here is a video submitted to our news station from a citizen. You can see just a little bit of snow flurries. This was about 5 or 6 a.m. here in Gainesville on Southwest 13th Street. So although I wasn't up, this citizen certainly got lucky and was able to spot that. The most snow we saw this week in Florida was in Milton, with citizens reporting 10 inches of snow. Extremely unprecedented. Wish I could have been there to check it out, but I was here in Gainesville. Looking at our satellite and radar, down south there is a little bit of rain as we saw those clouds here in the north, but not getting wet. That's going to make its way out of our region this evening and going to continue. High pressure, which when I think high in the sky. We're going to be seeing the sun tomorrow. We didn't see much of that today with that cloud coverage as those temperatures climb from those lower 20s to the 50s even. But we're going to see those temperatures decline the next evening as well, as I mentioned, that freeze. What we will also be seeing is this high pressure system moving into our area and settling over us on Saturday evening. This is important because of the Hogtown Medieval Fair, which is going to be coming into us in Gainesville. You're going to be seeing that sun out there, making it feel a little bit warmer. I know when I see 50 degrees, I'm a little nervous to spend time outside, but I would encourage everyone to get out there, put on your corsets and coattails, and just check out the Medieval Fair, as we are going to have even 60 degrees sunny skies on Sunday. Looking at our 7-day outlook, we have a consistent climb throughout the week from our highs currently just about 50 degrees up to even the mid-70s. I know I'm looking forward to that after all of the cold weather that we've been having recently. Again, Friday evening, we are seeing temperatures below freezing, below that 32-degree mark, but by late next week, the lowest temperature we're going to be seeing is just below 60 degrees. That is quite a warm-up for just over a week. We're going to be having a dry week. Those sunny skies are going to pull in just a little bit of clouds as we get into early next week, until next weekend, where we're going to be cloudy, but it's going to be much nice and warmer.
Coming up in sports, Walter Clayton Jr. set a new record for the Gators last night against the South Carolina Gamecocks. And Will Richard came up clutch as Florida narrowly escaped Columbia with a win. All that and more after the break.
You're watching WUFT-TV News.
Welcome to sports. I'm Ethan Eibe. My oh my, was it a close one yesterday for 5th-ranked Gator men's basketball to get their second straight conference win at South Carolina. After playing from behind the entire 40 minutes, Will Richard came soaring to the rescue with a clutch layup in the final seconds to give Florida its first and only lead of the game. The 70-69 victory boosted the Gators' record to 17-2. Walter Clayton Jr. also made some history by putting a three-pointer in the second half, giving him 42 straight games with a three, a new UF record. Gators head coach Todd Golden gave credit to the Gamecocks' physicality.
Obviously, I'm really thrilled to be able to sneak out of here with a win. I thought South Carolina played very well. I thought they controlled the game. I thought they were the more physical team. I thought they hit big shots and stepped up in big moments.
The Gators will return back home on Saturday to host the Georgia Bulldogs. And let's check in on the SEC standings as it sits Florida in a 5-way tie for 3rd place at 4-2. Auburn and Alabama lead the way as the only teams with 5 wins, and will especially keep an eye on those Tennessee Volunteers. Florida visits the Vols next weekend. Gators gymnastics will be back in the Stephen C. O'Connell Center tomorrow night when they host 13th-ranked Georgia. Florida checks in at number 3 in the nation. The Gators season began with a quad meet win over Michigan State, Nebraska, and Northern Illinois. UF opened SEC competition last week with its only loss on the season at LSU, and Florida will face another top team in Georgia on Friday at 6:15. High school basketball season is underway for local programs with a full slate of boys and girls games tonight. Starting with girls hoops, 8-4 Oak Hall welcomes a red-hot Chiefland team that's won 4 of its last 5. 7-8 Columbia faces a Buchholz Bobcats squad that's won 2 of its last 3, and Trenton heads to Fort White for a battle of the 5th and 6th ranked teams in the area. And let's take a look at some boys basketball games going on as well. Hawthorne takes a trip to North Marion. Gainesville is on the road at Columbia. That should be a good one as the Hurricanes have won 4 in a row. And Fort White wraps up the night with Trenton at 8 o'clock. In high school football news, Trinity Catholic hosted an introduction event for their new head coach, Clint Hart. This comes after John Brantley left the Celtics for Forest High School. Brantley was with the program for 15 years and took them to back-to-back state championships in 2022 and 2023. Hart played 8 seasons in the NFL and is the owner of Healthy Hearts Fitness. He's already had an impact on Marion County, working with high school athletes to improve their game. His most recent coaching experience includes a stint as defensive coordinator for Ocala Christian in 2017. And one last note, former Gator Ricky Castillo is taking part in the Farmers Insurance Open this week as the PGA Tour season gets underway. As he plays in the second round, he's within the top 15 on the leaderboard.
Well, Ethan, I'll tell you what, if you're thinking of playing golf this weekend in Gainesville, judging by what Ben said, I think it's going to be pretty cold.
Yeah, I'm not too much of a golfer myself, but with this weather, I will definitely be bundled up inside. Ben, what can we expect?
Well, it's going to be cold and windy, both which make golfing just a little bit harder for those on the course this weekend. But after this weekend, we're going to be seeing a consistent warm-up all the way through Thursday, where we're going to hit our peak in the mid-70s, a large difference from the freezing temperatures we're going to be seeing tonight and tomorrow night. Sunny skies this weekend with some clouds coming in throughout the week until we have a cloudy evening on Thursday.
Thanks for joining us. We're back here tomorrow for another edition of First at 5.
But your North Central Florida news is always on at WUFT.org and all of our social media platforms. Have a good night.